Hi, Shannon Laudette with Adept Real Estate here to talk to you about the changes that have been sweeping across the country with regard to the disclosure of commission amounts for agents and what it means to you. Okay, so anytime you go online and see a house for sale that's been listed by the Northwest MLS, it will say somewhere listing courtesy of Northwest MLS, and usually there's a little logo with 3 trees somewhere nearby. Okay, so Northwest MLS actually has been doing things differently than the majority of the country. And back in 2019, Northwest MLS realized that there was not full disclosure about commissions and that it seemed a little hazy about who was paying it and how it was being paid. So Northwest MLS actually made changes back in 2019 that have allowed us to be exempt from the NAR settlement. So, what was happening and has been happening for a long time is, a seller sits down with an agent and just says, what's the commission? And the agent will say, well, I charge blah, 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 blah. And then sometimes the seller would say, well, can I get it for less? And then the agent would say yes or no. So there was a lot of misunderstanding about whether or not a seller had to pay the buyer agent fee or didn't have to pay the buyer agent fee. And largely it's because it's one of the agent's least favorite topics, right? They don't want to negotiate commission. They want to tell you, hey, it's an X percent and leave it at that. So what Northwest MLS did in 2019 is said, hey, let's open this up to discussion, right? There's going to be two blanks to fill in as far as how much you're paying the buyer's agent and how much you're paying your agent when sellers signed listing agreements. Well, in addition to realizing that, hey, how come only sellers have to sign agreements? Now it's become a law that buyers have to sign agreements. So, in theory, before you see a single house with an agent other than an open house, you need to have a signed agreement with your agent. Okay, so what does this mean to you? It means full disclosure. I'm really excited. We have new forms for sellers coming out in just a few days. And basically, sellers are going to be able to choose from one of 3 options. They're going to be able to say, I am going to pay a buyer's agent X percent. And you write in the amount that you're willing to pay, right? And it can be anything. I can't even name numbers because I'm not going there. I'm not supposed to. But you write in a percent that you're willing to pay and that gets published. Okay. Or you can say, I don't want to predetermine a number. Why don't I have the buyer write in what they've already agreed to pay their agent since they now have a form that says, hey, I'm going to pay my agent's going to get paid X amount. Whether it comes from the seller or comes from the buyer is going to be determined in the future. Okay. So you can say, I'll pay something, but I'm not going to say how much. That's choice number 2. Now, choice number 3 is to say, I am not paying the buyer's agent fee. Plain and simple. So I'm not going to go into the pros and cons of each of those at all. I'm just going to tell you about the 3 choices. I'll explain that in a later video, at least my opinion on that in a later video. But for the moment, that's what it means. Just means full disclosure for all parties involved. And if you have further questions, reach out to me. I'm always here for you. I'm really excited about these new changes. Disclosure is always good. Transparency is always good. Shannon Laudette with Adept Real Estate. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.